All right. Hello. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Rita Fleming, and I'm excited to be your co-host today. And really, this space is just about answering questions, celebrating each other, witnessing each other, and yeah, a place for us to dive deeper, a safe space. So if anybody wants to start and share some wins, some takeaways, some things that you're learning, and then we can dive into as well, ways to troubleshoot if you have any goals that you're working towards. Hi, Molly. Welcome. Hi. How are you? All right. Does anybody want to start?
Sure, I will.
Awesome. Hi, Jackie.
So, hi. I started on this program 20 days ago, exactly today. Yeah, and I'm doing okay. It's tough, but I think Molly is my sponsor, supervisor, support person. And when I have questions, I'll ask her, and she's my cheerleader too. Yeah. And so I've had some really good days. I was telling her that last Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I felt really good. I've had energy, and I really felt good. And we would just talk and see what I was doing. And it was, it's nice to feel good like that again, because my joints were achy. I have migraines. So it has helped.
It's just happy to hear.
Yeah. Just the energy is a big help because I work full time. I'm a teacher.
Oh, wow.
I take care of my grandson, and then I walk the dog twice a day, in the morning and at night. So I need that energy. So it helps.
That's beautiful. And what are some differences you've noticed? Have you noticed anything change in your teaching or in your relationships or your mood, as far as having more energy?
Well, those days, my mood was definitely, I was happier. I was more.
Oops, we lost you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. We lost you at, I was happier.
I have more pep. I had more pep in my step those 3 days, and it was nice to feel that way. It's challenging. I'm special ed teacher, and I teach elementary kids. I'm kind of old for second grade, and and it's exhausting.
They have a lot of energy.
So, yeah, they have so much energy. So it's nice when I get those days where I have that extra energy. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. So and we're troubleshooting, because when I first started, I had migraines every day. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I know Molly came on here last week and she asked what I could do. So we've the electrolytes, I think she said, was one of the suggestions that we ordered for my next order.
Great.
So yeah, so I feel more confident, and hopefully they will go away.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would love that for you. Definitely have had some amazing women on here who, lived a lifetime with migraines, and they just kept going, really gentle with themselves. And now they don't have migraines and haven't had it for a long time. So I can't make any promises, but it'd be great to move in that trajectory.
Yes. Yeah. And just not the cravings. I do have cravings for carbs, which I don't, but I don't have any cravings for sweets, which is I was a sugaraholic. And
Wow.
yeah, and I'm not missing that. So
That's
I'm thrilled with that.
That's great. That's a good sign that your body's getting more minerals, that we're supporting those adrenal glands and those cravings for those carbs, just keep giving yourself good energy sources like your superfoods and adding in more fresh fruits. And that's a great source of energy.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So little by little, I'm getting there.
I love that. And is there anything else that we can troubleshoot for you or anything else that you're struggling with?
Okay, so my big stump tomorrow is I'm going out to dinner.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'm going to try for raw vegetables like a salad.
Mhm.
But if I don't have that option,
Mhm.
what could I do?
Yeah, so it's all about your goals and that lifestyle balance and finding the appropriate balance for you. So, you know, um, finding what feels is going to be the most nourishing
Okay,
and satisfying for you and giving yourself, that leniency. There's no like right or wrong. Have some grace with yourself. You can always hop back on. But also you don't want to eat anything that will like trigger a migraine or something. So just
right.
finding a good balance for you. That's,
Okay,
that's fun and in alignment with your goals.
right, right. Okay. That's I like that answer. It makes sense.
Yeah. And my goal with this whole container is learning how to listen to our bodies again. So that starts to happen more and more as we dive into this, but giving yourself that permission to play and have that flexibility and get that feedback from your body of like, okay, that felt really good. Oh, okay, that didn't feel so good. It gave me less energy and I was more tired and had pain come up, whatever it is. So
Right.
that's your body's communication of like, okay, this is feeling really good right now and less of this right now. And that will change as your body changes and goes through this process.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great work. I'm so happy for you. And my main tip, well, first is just celebrating you. And my main tip is just stay consistent. And if you can work through up to those 90 days and beyond, that's when the big breakthroughs happen as far as hormonal balance and, really balancing our internal system. So keep going and great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Yay. And thanks everyone for joining us. We are just sharing wins, takeaways, things that we're learning, things that we'd love to troubleshoot, and really being witnessed in our growth here. So I do see iPhone has your hand up. Hi, you can come.
Hi, yes, thank you. I'm actually asking for one of my customers. I have a group of about 18 women I'm working with, and
Mhm.
several of them, their goal is weight loss. And in the regenerative community, we're doing a lot of raw fruits and veggies.
Mhm.
But a question I've been getting a lot has been the concern with weight gain once more normal eating commences,
Mhm.
because not all of them are necessarily plant-based yet.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so there's like this fear around, we're just going to gain all the weight back. And it's just
Mhm.
because our calories are so low and restricted and, we're not eating a lot. Because, when you're eating fruits and veggies, it is lower in calories for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
So there is that concern that once they even with their healthy habits, start eating, more of a maybe adding eggs and some protein and stuff back in, that there's going to be weight gain. And so just wanted to know if you had any feedback around that, how to transition back
Yeah.
into maybe more of a lifestyle without gaining all the weight back.
Okay, I love this question. So for me, I'm really focused on lifestyle balance. So just adding the superfoods in. And that's kind of meeting people wherever they're at, based on their goals and their needs. And what I find is just by adding the superfoods in, some of the foods that are not serving us start to naturally fall away. And we start to crave foods that are really serving us. So I actually aim to have this not be restrictive whatsoever, and to make sure that people are getting plenty of calories. Because if we aren't getting enough calories, our body is going to be like, "I'm hungry." Eat more. So really for hormone balance, which is going to contribute to finding that right weight balance for ourselves, whatever that healthy balance is for ourselves, it comes from a place of abundance. It comes from a place of deeply nourishing ourselves, because oftentimes we hold on to weight because there's fear in our bodies, there's restriction in our bodies. And so the goal for me would be to really nourish and flood your body, and rather than being too focused on one way that it can look, focus on what can I add in, and what beautiful colors can I add in, and how can I really nourish myself. So I would just add a little bit more play into it. And the over like 90 days, if you're adding these superfoods in, even if you're not making other big changes, you're going to start adding in more fruits. You're going to start adding in more veggies, and the hormones will balance. And that's where it turns into a sustainable lifestyle, where there isn't like this restriction and, this yo-yo dieting of like, hopping from one place to the other. So I actually find the greatest success is in just, small baby steps, adding in what feels good and learning to listen to our bodies. So if we're craving sweets, add in more fruits. If we're craving salty, add in more superfoods and veggies. And then if we're craving like, wow, I want to be energized, that's when we're adding in a little bit more fruits. If we're craving grounding, nourishing foods, adding those in, and really learning to, rather than it be kind of like a straight line, like learning how to have that flow, that back and forth, where we're listening to our body's needs. Is that helpful?
Yeah, I think some of them started out, really trying to stick to the plant-based raw
Mm-hmm.
as much as they can, and having some cooked in the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
And so is the general idea in listening to your body to be in that more plant-based lifestyle? Um,
Um,
because I know you didn't mention, animal protein or anything like that.
mhm.
Um, so I want to kind of speak to those who are like, okay, after my 30 or 60 or 90 days, I'm going to reintroduce
Mhm.
protein and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes. Yes. So
and
I
even healthy fats.
Yeah, definitely. And I would just, again, find that balance. So as they start to reintroduce things, just listen to their body. Do they feel more inflammation or more pain, or are they more tired, or is there more puffiness? If there is, then they might just want to keep incorporating that abundance of more fresh fruits and veggies. If it feels really good to them, then add it in. But the main key is, rather than it looking a specific way, like really tuning into how it makes them feel, and then the steps that they want to take moving forward and finding that good balance for them.
Okay.
Because, if somebody, for example, like I used to have chronic pain, and when I would add in more inflammatory foods, I'd immediately get back into pain, and I'd be like, okay, that's not worth it for me right now. I'm going to keep alkalizing because that's where I feel really good. And then I got to a point where I could add in more nourishing foods without having that pain come up. So having a journal, and, also having fun and playing and making it very, very nourishing. We don't want anybody to be hungry or feel restricted, but instead like really listen to their body's needs and give themselves whatever their body is asking for.
And do you have any thoughts about Ezekiel bread? It's a sprouted bread.
Yeah, I would say that's the rule of thumb that I like to go towards is trying to have 80% alkaline forming foods like those fresh fruits and veggies and superfoods, and 20% more acidic forming foods. And that would be in the more acidic forming foods. So just again, finding that right balance for you. And if somebody has goals where they want to go a little bit deeper, then they would steer more towards the raw foods and the fruits. And if their goal is just lifestyle balance and feeling really nourished and playing and enjoying, then they would just find that right balance for themselves.
Okay. Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
So have fun and play and, make it very customizable.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yay, and feel free to put comments or questions in the chat. And if anybody else wants to hop off, share things that you're learning. Hi, Molly.
Hi,
How are you?
good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thank you, Rita, for being here and talking with us and answering our questions. I'm coming in for a client who she is struggling with fungal acne. And so I wanted to reach out to see if there were any suggestions that you had, or even like knowledge about like fungal acne, what like candida, what that's about, and how to help combat that for her.
That's a really good question. So again, our body's just always communicating to us. And when we're seeing, higher levels of fungus in our body, we know that our adrenal glands are needing some love and support. And our adrenal glands help to metabolize our sugars. So if we're not properly metabolizing them, we start to get an overgrowth of fungus in our body. So some great adrenal support that we have is Kids in Focus. I love that one. I take that on a daily basis. It's really calming, nourishing, supportive of the nervous system, helps with focus, concentration. Other really great adrenal support that you kind of can weave between is the Kids in Focus. The Be Energetic is an amazing adrenal formulation. The White American Ginseng can be super helpful for adrenal endocrine system. And I like to just, the adrenals need consistent love and support and nourishment. So I'll usually focus a few months like on the Kids in Focus, and then I'll take a little pause and I'll do a few months on the Be Energetic. So just kind of weaving between the different support systems for those adrenal glands. The Can't Beat This has some really good adrenal herbs in there. It has like rhodiola, cordyceps, so that can be helpful. And then when we're dealing with fungal overgrowth, it's in our lymphatic system. So the way that we clean up our lymphatic system is by alkalizing the body. So the superfoods are doing that. And then we support our kidneys and adrenals. And so the tart cherry juice, the apothecary, is my favorite support for those kidneys. And it helps to bring that inflammation down. So if it were me, I would just keep focusing on adrenal, kidney, and alkalizing the body and having patience, throughout that process. And another thing is getting our organs of elimination open. So making sure we're having, bowel movements every day, making sure we're sweating, dry brushing, being in a sauna, any way that we can get that lymph moving is great. And Camille was saying super cleanser. Yeah, that would be also supportive. I don't know if she's doing a parasite cleanse right now.
Yeah, she did one. She's moving into her second month, so she did the first round and then she'll do that again.
Perfect. Yeah. So I would dive into that as well and again, having patience with ourselves, giving our bodies time to adjust, because we just really want to shift that internal terrain, because we all have, fungus and candida, and that's great. We just want it in that healthy balance. So the gut support, the biomedic over time, that creates that healthy balance in our microbiome, which will speak to all of this as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. Hi, Nini. Did you have a question, Nini?
Oh, yeah, I did. How are you, Rita? Thank you for taking my quick question. I was listening to you talk to the lady before, and you were saying if you crave sweet items or something sweet, you should eat more fruit. Is that what you said?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Can you repeat that whole line again, that whole sentence?
Yes. So if we're craving sweets, our body is asking for more energy. And the way that our body produces energy is simple sugars from fruits and oxygen. So adding more fruit and then breathing deeply, like deep, full breaths, deep, full inhalations and exhalations, that's going to give our body the cellular energy that it's craving. And fruit also really serves our brain, our nervous system, our endocrine system. It creates cellular hydration. And most of us are dealing with pretty significant levels of dehydration at the cellular level. And inside the cell, and your fruit and like your watery fruits and vegetables, cucumbers, citrus, all of that, grapes, it starts to hydrate your body inside your cell. And so a lot of times we're craving sweet because we need to nourish like our adrenal glands, or we need deeper levels of hydration in our body or deeper levels of energy. So that's what our body's really asking for. And then also sometimes when we're craving sweet, we just need more minerals. So all of your superfoods are really mineral rich, full of, magnesium and micronutrients. So that's going to really support. And additionally, you can also focus on helping those adrenal glands, like working with the kids in focus if you're craving sweets. And then if you're craving salty, lean in more towards like the dark, rich greens and the veggies and, your green drinks.
Okay. Okay. One last question. I
Mhm.
am always anemic. Is there any way, what can I do to assist with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's also another reason your body may be craving fruits, is your fruit helps to oxygenate, alkalize, energize, which allows. So if you look at it under a microscope, when our body's in an acidic condition, which most of us are dealing with that environment, our cells get stuck together and they can't absorb their nutrients or their oxygen. And when we shift into an alkaline environment with our superfoods and our fruits, our cells start to spread apart and it turns from stagnation into like a free flowing river. And that allows your cells to absorb nutrients and minerals and vitamins, and it helps them get stronger and it helps them to eliminate wastes. So alkalizing the body, adding in all those fruits are going to help your cells with that absorption. And then liver is really important for absorption too. So like your green shake, your power shake, green spectrum, all of those green drinks are really supporting a healthy liver, and that's going to help with your iron absorption. And then your green foods and your tart cherry, so like your red foods, those also help with that absorption. So that's where I would personally work if it were me.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Mhm. And remember, it takes time to, and the ionic elements. Those are great minerals. You could also try adding those in, just, a few drops to your water or to your juice. That could be a great next step as well. Yay. Awesome. Well, it looks like we just have a couple more minutes. Anyone else want to shout yourself out, shout out, want to be celebrated, want to be witnessed, or have a quick question?
Oh, I just want to tell you that I'm learning a lot as I listen to you. The way that we can help our customers become more healthy and the fun part of it. Yes. Don't be so strict.
Yeah, don't be so strict. Sometimes we can get
You know?
ourselves. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, just that's what I meant. Just play with it, see what works. Oh, okay, try a little of that stuff you used to eat.
Mhm.
How do you feel? Okay, well, maybe you might want to not have that.
Mhm. Or have
Or
it in like a smaller ratio. So yeah, giving ourselves that room to play and explore is actually how we tap into our body's innate intelligence, and writing down our observations. And also, if we get too strict or rigid, sometimes it backfires. So just taking it at a pace that feels happy and joyful and abundant and exploratory for you. And we're all also in very different phases of our lives. Some of us are needing more rebuilding and nourishing. Some of us are needing more cleansing and energizing. So finding that right balance for what season, what phase you're in right now. And that changes also with the seasons. So
yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
yeah, great to see you, Bob.
Nice to see you. Almost back to Telluride.
All right.
Stopped in Platteville just to listen.
I
Okay.
love that. Yay. Well, it was a pleasure to be with everyone in this space today. You're all doing incredible, even just adding the superfood is like a massive win. And then, yeah, having fun and adding in all those bright colors. So congratulations. I believe in all of you, and it just gets better and better and better. So keep going. It took me 90 days to really have my big breakthrough. And now I've been consistent for almost 4 years, and it keeps improving and getting better. So thank you all. And I hope you have a beautiful day.
Rita, I have a quick question for you.
Yeah.
I'm
hi,
sorry to
Lisa.
come in so late at the end. Lisa Gray here. I have a quick question. I am wondering, so there's a chance, like outlying chance, my son, who has been a conundrum for a long time here, and we're at the point where there might be a Lyme disease co-infection thing going on with him, not cofactor, co-infection going on. I'm not to that diagnosis yet, but it's strongly positive, well, being suggested that we're waiting for test results, but it's likely. What would you encourage me to do for him as a kiddo
Mhm.
who has had a chronic, so he's probably been infected for years and he'd be at a late stage.
Mhm.
Just wondering if you have some thoughts on what you would share with me to help bring him back to a sense of stability. His GI system is a huge mess.
Mhm, mhm. That's a really good question. So some things that we can focus on are, one, continuing to alkalize the body. So the superfoods, the fruits, the veggies. The next is the kidney support, because Lyme hangs out in our lymphatic system. That's where it lives. That's where it's stored. So, really working with like that tart cherry and any local herbal kidney support, go to your local apothecary. How old is he?
He's 11.
He's 11. Yeah, so he can do herbs and tinctures and teas, and I would just focus on cleaning up that lymphatic system. There
Okay.
are also some amazing herbs that work specifically to address like the spirochete, which is like the Lyme microorganism. And so I can send those to you. Those are, or connect you with the name of them. It's rain tree herbs. So that could be helpful. It would just have to be a
Okay.
smaller dose based on his weight. You can work with a practitioner on that. And then the other thing that gets really impacted is the nervous system.
Mhm.
So working with the kids in focus every day to really nourish and restore the nervous system, working with like anything that's really restorative to the nervous system, whether that's yin yoga or deep breathing or, finding that relaxing restoration is going to be huge.
Mhm. So I shouldn't encourage him to do his schoolwork. I'm kidding. He hasn't do it. He's not well enough to do school for like 6 months. So he's already like, Mom, can I just start next year fresh? I'm like, yeah, we might need to do that. But anyways, thank you for the tips. I was just going to ask, the lymphatic system makes a lot of sense to me because whenever he does complain about things going really south, his legs start hurting really bad.
Mhm.
And so he's pointing at his lymph nodes being inflamed. We do try to address that, but he really can't drink apothecary. It's kind of too acidic going down for him right now.
Mm.
Any other thoughts on he's really reactive with his stomach pain to the like alkalizing broth. Like I've been trying to just make up like nettle tea and stuff, and he absolutely erupts in like huge amounts of burping and belching, and it's painful to him, and he just ends up just so inflamed. And so I was just wondering if you had any other, I don't know, and just any other thoughts on that. I just love any other tips. Oh, I was just going to ask about CBD oil.
Mhm.
You had any ideas on dosage for a young one of what might be
Um,
recommended for that?
A check on the bottle. There might be like a weight dosage there, but that is really nourishing to the nervous system. And his body, the reason it's reacting like that is it's cleaning up that internal terrain. Like there is an overload of microorganisms. And so that's what's reacting, is like those dying off. So just going slow, working with like a local practitioner, and working with herbs that are for the lymphatic system and for the kidneys, and just taking it slow, and he will have to move towards that alkalizing, to
Right.
clean up that internal terrain. So you're just going to have to take it at a slower pace. And there might be like a local acupuncturist who has amazing herbs, but just working specifically with like kidneys, adrenals, lymphatic, and like parasite cleansing.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And that's kind of where we're at with all of them. Not sure which ones are the first to address even right now, but he always shows positive for virus, bacteria, metals,
Mhm.
chemicals,
Yep.
viruses again, parasites. I'm like, what else can be wrong in this child?
I know.
So okay.
And the
Okay.
microorganisms, like the parasites and stuff, often are cleaning up the heavy metals. So the green drinks are going to help to detox the heavy metals. The fulvic zeolite, doing that just a very small amount, that helps to detox heavy metals. So it's all about creating that healthy internal terrain, which means alkalizing, alkalizing with the greens, and like the green spectrum and the biofruit and all of that, just flooding the body, because we want to oxygenate, because a lot of those microorganisms and stuff can't survive in that alkaline environment. So it's changing
Okay. Wow, thank you so much. Well, I appreciate the hope.
Yeah,
Thank
keep
you.
going, keep working with nervous system, brain and nervous system, and yeah, working with, a local practitioner that can walk you through. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Rita. God bless you. I appreciate your help.
My pleasure. Thank you all. Have a good evening.